In this video, we're going to talk about debt collectors taking people's money out of their bank account, debt collectors even being able to take money from individuals who are exempt from garnishment, exempt from taking any of their money due to retirement or whatever type of exemptions. I'm going to tell you how they're able to do that and how will be able to stop it. And also, if you are facing any type of debt collection lawsuit or debt collector or sending you demand letters, I'm going to tell you how you can deal with those so you can be proactive. So one of the things that I really understand about people as I've been in business and dealing with myself when I had to start being proactive about dealing with my debt in the 1990s is that one of the things that we do as humans is we procrastinate big time. And we think that stuff will just go away. If it's out of sight, out of mind, it'll go away. Some of the times we'll think, and I know I had this thought process, is I don't have anything anyway. I had basically, they came and taken cars that I had and, no money in the bank account. Some of the times people might even say, hey, you could just garnish my wages. Hey, if I ain't got it, I ain't got it. Like all of these things go through our mind. But what I started to kind of, when I made my decision in 1994 was I was like, yeah, that, people can float along and exist with that mindset. But is this what I pictured for me and my family? Is this the lifestyle that I wanna have for myself and my family? Like sometimes people have this mindset of, oh, if they garnish me, then I'll quit that job and go to another job. And that people can do that. That is something that people can do. But is this, if we really boil it all down, is this the lifestyle that we want to lead, that we want to procrastinate and we want to just tell people, well, I don't have it. Just take what you can take. And then if they start garnishing you, you go and quit that job and go to another job. Is that the existence that you really would picture for yourself? Or do you picture yourself of the mindset of I want to be proactive. I want to fight back. I want to understand what's being done and utilize the laws and the rights that are available to me to be able to fight back even if I lose. Want to be smart about it. Really finding out what is true and what is false and these misconceptions from all of the different information that is available to all of us out there. And I think that when it all comes down to it is that we want to have a good life and a well-being. If you don't feel good about yourself, it makes it very hard for you to be able to move forward with anything that you're trying to do in your life. So let's start off with talking about exemptions. There are federal exemptions for if you're sued and they get a judgment, default judgment or regular judgment without default, if you happen to be there, that there's exemptions that people have if you're a veteran, retirement income, railroad income, Social Security, disability. Every state has different exemptions, and there's federal exemptions. Now, how are debt collectors bypassing and getting people money, actually going into retired people's bank account and taking their money when they are exempt from that money even being touched, regardless of a judgment? Is that people are not notifying the courts. They're not notifying the plaintiff attorney. They're not notifying the collector, if it's a collector who purchased the debt, or they're not notifying the creditor. This has to be done a specific way, or they're going to just disregard anything. They're just going to continue. And what do they care? If they end up taking your money and it was exempt, and somehow you get with someone that's able to help you fight to get your money back, Think about all of that work that you had to go through, all of the frustration, them taking your money and you going through all of the hardship of trying to pay your bills and pay the rent or pay the mortgage, when all it would have took was to notify them the proper way at the beginning when they either submitted a debt collection letter to you or they took you to court for that debt. Like that's all it would take. But most people will procrastinate. Most people will have a lot of questions, which I understand that. And that's because they just don't know what's the real thing. So let me tell you the real deal. If a debt collector buys your debt, they can sue you, take you to court, garnish your wages if you're not exempt. And if you don't notify them, they can garnish wages. And if you're exempt, they can garnish your bank account. They can do all of those things. They can also take assets from you, regardless if they're paid off or not. They can do that. I know that there's a lot of people out there that, say that they can't do it. We deal with people that have these problems all the time. All the time. They can do it. And if you don't respond to them appropriately, regardless of your exemptions, they will take your money and you'll have to do all of this work to get your money back. I believe that you would want to make the smart decision and be proactive to make sure that they don't even get to have that ability to be able to take your money. So some of the things that can happen when you get a default judgment in the favor of a debt collector or the original creditor, they can take actions on you. And the way that they get a default judgment is that you did not appropriately respond to the court summons. I want you to think about it this way. On one hand, there is an amount of debt that they claim that you owe. On the other hand is the documentation that they submitted to the court to actually build the case for the claim of the amount that they say that you owe. Most people who are not educated on how to do this, and there are even some attorneys that are not educated on how to do this, and I am not an attorney, don't want to be an attorney, don't pretend to be an attorney, and I'm not giving you legal advice, but I am giving you information based on the work that we've helped our clients do to beat debt collectors and original creditors with their lawsuits. And it basically comes down to this. Lawsuits are built on the amount that they're claiming, because that's the outcome that they want. They want you to pay that amount. That's the incentive for them. They wouldn't just be there to sue you to make you look bad. But they actually do utilize the documentation, the allegations, the court summons to make you look bad, to make you have to pay that debt. So when you're going to fight a debt collector lawsuit, you need to educate yourself on the proper way to respond to the allegations and the proper way to set up a defense to defend yourself against the documentation and evidence that they've submitted to you. It is not about denying everything. If you think that you're going to deny your way to a victory in a debt collector lawsuit or an original creditor lawsuit, it's not going to happen. I was going to say that I'll just say it. There's a bridge, what did they say, a bridge in San Francisco that I want to sell you. You must respond appropriately or you're going to automatically lose. You could be standing there. I've had people say, I went to court, I responded, and they still gave me a judgment. That is because you did not put up any type of argument for the case. So just think about it logically. If you have no argument, you do not put it together appropriately because you have to say it a certain way to get it across to the judge, to get it across to the plaintiff attorney. If it's not said a certain way, no one's going to know what you're trying to say, and it's just going to look like you're trying to deny everything. So if you lose the case, original creditor debt collector, they can garnish your wages. When they garnish wages, they take up to 25% per paycheck, not per month, per paycheck. They can levy or freeze your bank account. That's right, they can levy, which means that they can take it out with a writ of garnishment, or they can freeze your bank account and go back to court to get the money out of the bank account. The next thing is they could do is they could put property liens on your real estate. Just had an email today about a property, wondering if they could take the property. No, they can't take your house, but they can put a lien on your house. If you're older, you want to transfer that to your family or you want to sell it at some point, they're going to be right there in line. The title company is going to call them. They're going to do a title search on your property. They're going to see that there's a lien on your property. And guess what they're going to do? They're going to punch on their phone, dial up, hey, Mr. Mrs. Debt Collection Company, so-and-so is about to sell their house. They owe you $10,000. They're about to get the proceeds for $20,000. You can come here and get your $10,000. That's what they will do. That's exactly what they will do. So they could put a lien on your home, wait for that day. And when that day happens, they're going to be right there in line to try to get their money. They can also blow up the debt. One of the cases that I was involved in for myself, which was for a business debt that I had personally signed for, that I didn't even, it was crazy. But long story short, the debt was about $40,000. They sued me for over $100,000. I had to settle that debt for, I think it was $43,000. Or the debt was 50-some thousand. They came to court for $100,000 and I settled it for $43,000. And I would have been able to avoid all of that if I would have responded to that debt collection letter the appropriate way. It's very important. I know I'd say it over and over again. Responding to these debt collection lawsuits the appropriate way, you will automatically win. Maybe I had to go through that so I was able to tell you about your rights, because that one hurt me a lot. Imagine paying out $43,000 when if you would have just fought it. If I would have just fought it from the beginning, I would have won the case. There was a whole bunch of problems with the case. I had actually hired an attorney. He did nothing. I ended up firing him, and I ended up negotiating the account. He was way up at like $75,000. You see, I got it that far down. But if I would have responded when they initially did the case, I would have won the case outright. So don't make the same mistakes that I made. Be proactive. The next thing is so they can add up fees and interest. It will negatively impact you on your credit. So it's like you're getting hurt one way and then you're getting hurt another way by impacting you on your credit. And what do I always say about people with bad credit? Pay what? People with bad credit pay more for the same things that people with good credit pay less for. The next thing is they could take legal enforcement actions. This is something that I've seen happen to people, and it is very, very scary. This actually happened to me, and it's happened to a number of individuals that I know. They will send private investigators to take pictures of your property. They'll send private investigators to see where you work. They will send private investigators to take pictures of the cars that you drive. All of this stuff as a fact-finding mission to try to see what you have, to base it on how they're going to try to go after collecting your money. They will use skip tracing capabilities from TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian to scan your credit reports to see who you're paying and to see where you work at, how long you've lived at your address, to put into their data set to see your ability to pay. And then they will put together their strategy to go after your money. And it will be either a combination of garnishing wages. If you own a business, they're going to go after your bank account. And for property, if you're exempt, they're going to go after property. All of this type of stuff can be avoided if you respond right away to the debt collection lawsuit. It could either help you win your case, it can slow down the whole process of the case so it can give you some breathing room, some space to be able to make some better decisions instead of being under so much pressure. And it can also, if need be, open up the door for a very good settlement arrangement so you're able to move forward. So to close this video out, the big thing that I want to do, I made a promise for 2025, and it's just really any time moving forward. So if you're watching this video after 2025, it really doesn't matter. What I want to do is I want to tell you the real deal. I've been helping people repair their credit since 2006. We're about to go on 20 years of service. And you can't be in business for 20 years doing the wrong things. We're not a perfect company. We're just like you. We're human beings, but I could tell you, we always work hard. We do what we can do, and we will always work hard. We fight for you to get you to where you want to be with your credit. And if you come to us to get help to get out of debt, we're going to tell you the real. That's the way that everybody says it, the real. And if you're not willing to do it, we won't have you as a customer. That's really for credit repair and for helping you get out of debt, because we know what it's going to take. And we're going to be straightforward and upfront with you so you can make a decision and be like, okay, it's in your hands, and whatever you need me to do, I'm going to do. And that's going to be like a partnership. So if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch my video, What Makes Us Different, so you can see my 8-point validation process, my 2-phase settlement process. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com. Grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. Links are below this video. If you have debt collectors coming after you early in the game, we want to be proactive, not reactive. Grab my 3-pack of letters: statute of limitations, debt validation, cease and desist collection activities letter. Please comment, post your questions and comments, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for your time. This is Stephen A. Williams, President and founder of thecreditrepairshop.com.